only title match of the night, which was a won by the ladder match. The Face of Revolution, Scorpio Sky, took the brass ring from the top after a brutal ladder match to face Darby Allin after he's finished a brutal match, the cinematic match, which was, even thinking it back, I think was the match of the card. I mean, they had some advantages to being able to film it and stuff, but they did so freaking amazing in
That
that
was my
cinematic
favorite match
match.
of Revolution. That
And
was.
then you had this match, which we were excited for, and quickly coming off the heels of it. So you really just keep pushing on the gas. And the announcers did a great job reminding us of how great Scorpio Sky is. He's been off TV for a little while, but they did an awesome job hyping him up, just saying his background and his history, and being held in the tag titles and different things like that. And that was great props to the announce team for that. This was a great overall battle with both guys. They did a lot of groundwork, some grappling and things like that. Scorpio Sky was like the king of counters tonight, and he countered so many amazing moves. The coffin drop from the top to the power bomb, the cutter from the tope suicida dive. That was pretty amazing. We've seen that with Cage where he caught him in a suplex. So I feel like maybe that's Darby's kind of like smart booking where he's going to dive through the ropes and take some kind of counter, because that's the second time we've seen that. I really enjoyed that for sure. It was a very hard fought battle. To me, it kind of was like slowing down in the beginning and then kicked right back up, after I believe we had a picture in picture, and then it was just like pushing the pedal to the metal. The only downfall of this is, man, I am not a cradle pin finish guy. I do not like the finish on this. I am all for a strong pin, a strong finish. I cannot stand a technical pin to win after, especially a hard fought match like this. This match is still getting elite from me, but I don't agree with the finish in terms of a roll up. And Darby has been, that's how he won the title against Cody. It's kind of like this little weasel way to win, in my opinion.
I know you
and
hate
it takes away from the strength of Darby and the strength of Scorpio, in my opinion. And what we saw after the match was great. Now, I'll let you talk about the match before we talk about the post match antics. But yeah, that inside cradle just had me just like kind of bummed out after a great match.
The Dukes of Dynamite are going to disagree on this because I feel like AEW uses that so infrequently. Yes, it stands out once in a while because
Right.
they don't use that as a finish most of the time. It's very rare where you see like that cheap cradle victory that gets you so fired up, SPD.
Yeah.
And I think that the post match, the story of this match, that played well into it, right? Because Scorpio was presented as equal. Scorpio was presented as an equal to Darby, and Darby clearly was getting Scorpio frustrated during this match. There were points when you could tell Scorpio was starting to get a little heated, getting a little frustrated.
Yep.
And I think that if Darby had beat Scorpio in a convincing way, in a very definitive way, it would have kind of undercut Scorpio's frustration afterwards, right? Like, you could the best heels are the ones that are, even though they're bad, you can still understand why they think they're right. And here's Scorpio. If you look at this through the lens of Scorpio Sky, he finally gets this opportunity in the ladder match, right? He finally gets a chance. People around the world have been wanting this Scorpio to get a singles opportunity. He finally gets it. He literally pulls down the brass ring. He gets a one-on-one title shot against Darby Allin, and he loses by a cheap roll-up. When in a lot of the match, Scorpio was the one who had those jaw-dropping moves. He was the one who, you just talked about it. All those counters, he seemed to be a step ahead. Obviously he's got the power on Darby, but they were very much neck and neck throughout this match. I feel like that roll-up felt cheap, and it was sort of the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? This is a guy who was teetering on good and bad the last couple of weeks here, and this was one of those things where it's like, all right, whatever, nothing goes my way. I'm tired of it, and he let the frustration get the better of him. So I think it played into the story of the match well. I personally, again, I said on social, and I'll say it again here tonight, I love when Darby is in gets matches like this.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's fun to see what a power guy like Brian Cage can do and throwing him around. And we've seen him go against Will Hobbs. We've seen what Darby just get tossed around and get ragdolled. But I love when Darby is presented, gets this opportunity. Dude, the Joey Janela match. That was one of the biggest matches where I had to like eat my words. Joey and Darby, they killed it. They did absolutely phenomenal together. I love when Darby had a lot of technical moves, doing a lot of counters. It showed his intelligence as a wrestler, and it just make him look like a ragdoll or a crash test dummy. And I think that's important for a champion. I think that's one of the biggest things that you've been clamoring for with Darby is present him in a way that, doesn't make him feel like he's a fluke champion. A lot of his matches with up to this point, he had a lot of those matches where he would get by on the skin of his teeth. You want to see him kind of get more definitive wins. I understand that. And I can understand why the roll-up victory can kind of chap your behind. I get that. I know you want to see him get some definitive wins. I get it. I get that completely. Where we go from here is going to certainly be interesting. You mentioned Lance Archer having Sting in his crosshairs. Obviously, Lance isn't going to just take this lying down. He wants an opportunity for that title. Yep. I think that'd be a great chance. I think that Scorpio obviously is not done. He's not going to take this just lying down with his post-match antics are concerned. A lot to be intrigued with on this one. And I hope that we get to see more of Darby versus guys in his, like, kind of in his weight class and that similar size. It really presents a different side to him.